Hey, what's going on? Berkeley Moses, solid as a b-ball. Here with me, lucky to have York forward Prince Kamunga. Thanks for joining me, Prince. Happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate for taking the time to actually bring me to this interview.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on. Just want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing at York University.
Basically, I'm a 6'7" guy from York University. Going to my last year. Studying information technology. I'm in my last year for that too, and I guess really that's basically it for now.
How have you been doing balancing the stuff with the new pandemic that we have now and your studies and basketball? How have you been doing personally balancing all that stuff?
To be honest, it kind of felt easy when everything went online, because I feel like because I live downtown, like the commute to York was always like something that I had to keep it in my mind. But just when everything went to online, when we came back to the school after we got accepted to go back, like the vaccine and stuff like that, I was able to just focus way more on just basketball. Obviously, school was a priority, but like now that school was online, it was like I just had to go home, just look at my computer, do my task, and then after that, it's like I just go straight do ball, and then focus on my training, focus on my lift, and everything like that. So I feel like the based on like how do you call it the way like it translates from like to school to online, it became more easier for me to have a balanced schedule rather than just everything has to be outside and then I have to work on like, okay, I got to go to class and then I got to do this and I got to do that and stuff like that.
So you're finding it easier now. You can kind of separate it. So only time you need to be on campus is really for basketball.
Yeah, for basketball purposes, yeah.
Yeah.
And even right now it's because like I train because of the trainer that I've been training with for my whole time at York, he has a gym at Vaughan. So because it's at Vaughan, it's like it makes like it's even more convenient for me to go to Vaughan, train there, and then come back to York, and then go to practice, and then I could go home and just focus on my schoolwork rather than just like finish practice and then I got to stay at school and I got to do my work stuff.
Yeah.
It takes a toll sometimes.
Yeah, it can get quite busy being a student athlete. How did you come to be at York University? What was the process like to get in there and the recruiting process?
Honestly, because based on like my situation, because I went to French school in high school, it was very tough for me to really get like people to recruit me because like they weren't really able to see me shine anywhere because like there wasn't really any like videos or mixtapes or what's not. So obviously that was pretty tough. So it was really up to me to talk to like these coaches from the leagues to see like where their heads at and if they really wanted to have players on the team. And obviously like based on the connection that I kind of had with what I was doing downtown, I was able to get people to actually talk to coaches in the league for me to kind of get in. And that kind of just helped me get into the recruiting process.
Were you only looking at Canadian schools during your recruiting process, or were there American schools as well?
No, at first, like when I was in high school, like maybe like grade 9, grade 10, my mindset was like, okay, like I need to get this D1 scholarship. And then from there, it's like, then I have to kill in D1. Then from there, it's like, okay, I got to declare for the draft. It's not because I already knew back then, like my athleticism was like it was off the chart. Like a lot of, like I haven't seen a lot of people with the athleticism I had. So I was like, okay, like I could jump, I could shoot. And if I have the proper people to help me like develop to like a player that I'm supposed to be, then that's the route that I could take. But then when I started like growing, becoming older and understanding really how Canadian basketball was going and like the recruiting process or how to get to the States or what's not, I feel like that route that I have in my head was kind of just fading away. And then the more it was fading away, the more I started understanding that there was other ways to get into basketball and to still get to the same goal that I'm trying to get. But it's like you have to go to a different route and see what can that happen?
Yeah, you see a lot, especially with the youth today, with
Hmm.
social media growing and stuff, that you do kind of get a one-track mindset, and it's kind of like get to the States by any means necessary, whether it's a school that's beneath them academically or whatever it takes. You want to maybe talk about how you got out of that mindset and how you can maybe kind of encourage others to kind of think the same way and look at different routes to playing basketball.
Um, Honestly, like during my high school days, like I had, I don't want to say I had a lot of friends because a lot of friends at work that had the same mindset as me with sports.
Yeah,
I feel there's only one guy that had it, and that guy wasn't even playing basketball, he was playing soccer,
yeah,
and his name was Ivan. So him and I, like, we still talk to this day, but him and I, we always been talking about like, okay, this is what we wanted to do. This is what like we have to do to get to this point. We're trying to get this videotape out there, or let's contact this coach who's
yeah,
not. But then we knew like we started to shift our mind when our graduation started coming up, because we obviously kind of understand that like when you're trying to get a scholarship from D1, like those scholarship comes in grade 10,
yeah,
grade 11, and whatnot, and then it's like your name already has to be known. So
yeah,
obviously for anybody that's watching this, you have to understand that like you kind of have to create a name for yourself before you actually tell yourself, okay, this is where I'm really trying to go, what's not. And then
100%.
even when you create your name for yourself, you have to understand what the school is trying to get out of you first. Because obviously in the States, it's kind of way different than here, because a lot of money is really generated over there. So like the way they think is like, okay, we're bringing this specific player because we know he could bring us this specific amount of money.
Yeah,
So it's like if he doesn't perform in that specific ability, then okay, like we can't really do anything. We might as well we could bring him in, but we could just sit him down. So like um him and myself and my friend were thinking about like a lot of scenarios that was going on, and we kind of realized that there wasn't really any advantage of doing it, because when we back then, like social media wasn't really booming, but when you kind of just looked at website or what's not, you see like the main guys, and
yeah,
not like every single main guy get to where they're supposed to get.
for sure.
So I feel like from there is like we started understanding that okay, like we gotta be realistic with ourselves. This is not the route that's gonna help us get to where we want to go. So we kind of just have to figure it out another way. And then that's when Canadian sports started coming up to us. Like we started hearing it from other peers, from other people outside from our school. And then from there, like we just started talking even more. And then that's when like we started coming up with a conclusion that Canadian sports should be the best route for us to go to.
For sure. You definitely made a name for yourself at York. Got like athlete of the week at York and multiple awards throughout there. You want to talk about the opportunities that playing at York has provided you, including getting drafted by the CEBL?
Um, I'm not even trying to lie to you. Like my mindset going into York until my last year was like just focus and just train, because based on like the background that I have, like my mom always like she's a hard working person with
Yeah,
a high motor. And it's like I have a brother and sister, and they also have that same mindset. So like we just have that mindset of just keep going until like it ends, right? So obviously like our mom kind of instilled in us that like if you work as hard as possible, like good things will happen
yeah.
regardless of what situation you're in at.
Okay.
So obviously my mindset wasn't like I never thought about like being like athlete of the week or like CBL or like all these opportunities that came is like that was never my expectation coming into my first year. It
Yeah,
was just like, okay, I just want to work and trying to prove myself that I do belong in this league, and like I could do something with it, right? Even though like there could have been a lot of more opportunities that I got, but this was the only one that I had. So I kind of just ran with that mindset. And I feel with that mindset is like um based on like even what my mom just telling me, she's like, yo, don't really dwell on like the goods and the bad, trying to stay level headed. So even all the accolades and stuff that I kind of got, it meant a lot for me. But my goal was really to just like make sure that I'm staying level headed and just
Yeah.
focused throughout. So that's basically
Yeah.
how I went through with stuff.
Just trying to stay grounded.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
because obviously it's like you do want a lot of stuff, like you want recognition, you want accolades. It's not like it's pretty cool to have them, but it's like in life, it's like you don't want to brag a lot, right? So
Yeah.
you always want to understand when to do something and when not to do something.
Yeah.
So like obviously with the situation I've been at York is like I kind of understood that from the years that I've been there. So I guess I guess that's where I'm just a pretty like calm and laid back guy, rather than just being very energetic and doing like and showing everybody like what's up, what's not. I'm kind of just like I'm gonna stay in my corner. I'm gonna work on what I have to work on, and then whatever happens, happens.
After the draft, it didn't go as you would have planned, or maybe as you
Hmm.
would have hoped.
Hmm.
And you kind of learned that, like, yeah, sports is a business. You know what I mean? There's a
Hmm.
business side to sports. So you want to talk about maybe experiencing that the negative business side of it, or the harsher business side of it so early, what that's done and how that's helped you. Kind of like, okay, you've seen the bad business side of sports. It doesn't always
Hmm.
go my way. How do I kind of use that experience to build the future?
Oh, that's a good point. Because to be honest, even coming from a high school to like the OUA or like to York,
Yeah,
like I never understood that side anyways. Because
yeah,
obviously in high school it's like I wasn't really put in like a prep school or anything. So like when you're in the public school, it's like you're just having fun, winning, just winning. It's like you're just playing basketball and it was not. But then the better the leagues are, the more like you understand about the politics was not. I personally feel that like at first it just didn't seem real. Like
yeah,
just because as a player, it was like damn, like it's just a shock seeing the politics because there's politics all over the place. You know, we way even like when the CBL I got drafted, I wasn't able to play. Like for me, it became a shock. And then obviously with the people with my whole circle that I've been talking to, they kind of just explained me that like in this type of stuff, it's like you just have to make sure that you stay within your work, that you don't
yeah,
really try to get out of hand with it, because not everything is controllable. Because obviously, like you could try to play basketball for as many years as you want, but like one injury could really derail it. And then it's like people will just trying to look at you and be like, oh, you should have deserved this type of money, but because he's injured, do we really want to give him that type of money? So I feel the only thing you could do is really just have that positive mindset and not really trying to be like, oh, okay, um this is what happened to me, so I gotta suck. What's not? It's like I kind of have like a what's next mentality. So it's like um there was one time during my years at York, I kind of I kind of messed up my hand, so I wasn't able to play for I think 4 to 5 games.
yeah,
And even when the impact happened, like in my head is like my head is just going in like it's like I'm just mad or what's not. But obviously with my reaction, it didn't really look like I was mad or what's not. I just told myself that okay, this is a what's next mentality.
yeah,
Just gotta go to hospital, take care of it,
yeah.
and then go on from there. So I feel like that's really what like as a even not even as a player, just as a person in life, that's kind of the mindset that you have to take in
Mm,
because like you don't want to make the situation worse, right? Because
yeah,
obviously, like let's say you go to an interview and then you don't get the job, you don't
yeah,
want to go out there and be like, oh, okay, to your peers, no, don't
for
apply for
sure.
this job
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
this happened or that happened. So like that's not really what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say like just learn from all of that because this is the nature of life and just trying to find like that level ground that could just help you move forward.
for sure. Yeah, that's the best way to look at it. Yeah, because things are gonna
Mhm.
happen, and you don't want to burn any bridge or do anything for because it didn't go your way the first time or whatnot.
Basically,
Yeah, that's good. You mentioned that you were an information technology major.
uh-huh.
What are some of the stuff that interests you on that side in terms of information tech or new technology that we have out now? What are some of your interests
Um,
there?
to be honest, right now it's like everything that we're doing at school is kind of broad.
Yeah,
So there's nothing really specific that I'm into right now, to be honest. because the way I'm thinking was like, yeah, like information technology is cool, it's not, but I realized that like with basketball, there's more opportunities than just basketball that could come
Yeah.
with it, right? So it's like information and technology I kind of just had in my back pocket, just to see like, okay, if I could use that and like after my years of just playing basketball, then I could find something that I really love into it. Because right now it's like it's a very broad subject. So I can't really tell you specific stuff that I really like about it. But
Yeah.
I just like everything as a whole, just doing programming, coding, just learning a new program. So that's really fun to do.
You prefer iPhone or Android?
No, definitely iPhone. Definitely iPhone.
Okay.
Android can't do it.
Yeah.
I think I had an Android for maybe like I want to say maybe during my high school days, but as
Yeah.
soon as I got my first iPhone, I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
no way.
So you don't even, do you use PC or just straight MacBook too?
No, no, no. I have a PC.
Okay.
I don't use that
So you like
because
the
like
iPhone, but the PC?
yeah, because the PC is better for honestly, I kind of fell in love with PC based on
Yeah.
like my program because Mac it was so hard to just download all the programs and understand what was going on with the program. But with the PC, it's like, okay, you gotta
Okay.
download that, and then I can learn the thing like very fast. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
really
yeah,
take us long. As like if I had a Mac, I have to go there or I have to go there and stuff like that.
for sure. You talk about with the coding and stuff is from what you learned so far about it, do you think that it's something that can really help the next generation of kids kind of grow and gain confidence in themselves? Do you think that's where kind of technology is having to go, like learning to code and do those things?
Um, I don't want to say like that's where like I don't want to say like coding is where like the next generation may go. Because at the end of the day, like technology has a big factor to what we're doing in life, but I feel like they want to use technology for everything they're doing. So let's say
Yeah,
we're going to school, we do it online, what's not. It doesn't really require like any coding. It's just
yeah,
like and everything's virtually. So it's like I feel like it depends on what factors that kids want to see the technology with, and then whatever factor that whoever's trying to run like the system was not sees that okay, if we use this technology for this, it could help us. It could help not only us, but it could help the population for this. So I feel like it is really based on like the subjects or topics that are
yeah,
really being talked about. Because right now it's like if I'm trying to do anything on iTech, it may just be like maybe trying to fix computers or stuff like that. So obviously that's one part of technology, but
yeah,
there's way more stuff that goes beyond that, right? So
for
I feel
sure.
like it's really up to them to really see what's going on and then pick what they want to do.
Have you used Synergy or any of the new programs like for your basketball or any of those new technological
Yeah,
programs to track shots and do things like that?
um, honestly, not really to track shots. I feel like most of the time I use Synergy is kind of just to put like my mixtape out there.
Okay.
So like I was able to obviously having Synergy is like I'm able to just see my game, like the stuff that I do good and also the stuff that I wasn't doing good. So a lot of weaknesses that I feel that I had from my first year was able to get fixed right now. And right now it's just like I kind of just have to work on the small details instead of just working on like something very apparent.
Yeah.
So Synergy, I kind of use it like this year. I didn't really use it as much because like my main focus was just to look at like my stats and see like my percentage was not and kind
Yeah.
of have a reasonable percentage. But I haven't gone on Synergy this year to be honest. But I do use it a lot though. Like during the pandemic and the years past, like
Yeah.
I was on Synergy a lot and I was able to look at like a lot of players and see like what they do not only offensively, defensively, and like where everybody can improve, right? So
What do you think about analytics and how it's impacted the game?
um I feel like people they kind of take analytics too far. Like
Okay.
if like So like there's some stuff that like you kind of have to look at it.
Yeah.
But like let's say like when obviously people want to compare like I think I don't know if I was watching the podcast or what's not, but I was seeing people trying to compare like Steph Curry and KD as like the best shooter, and then
Yeah.
the way they're trying to explain it, they're trying to go to like box minuses or stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then you're basically saying, okay, like the general population don't really understand what you're trying
Yeah.
to come out to. Well, obviously, like the hoopers will start, or the people that are that are really invested in this game will understand. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel that part of analytic kind of takes like it kind of takes a switch to the narrative that
For
is
sure.
trying to put out there. So I
Yeah.
feel that's why like for me, I'm not a huge fan of it
Okay.
because like a lot of people kind of they 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 kind of want to use that for their advantage, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like you kind of just have to watch the game
I know
first
what you're
to
saying.
kind of
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah. If
analytics.
someone
And
can
a
hoop,
lot,
they can hoop, you can see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
and a lot of people they don't want to do that. They just
Okay.
want to go straight to analytics, be like, yeah, he's averaging triple double, so yeah,
Yeah.
he's the best guy in the
Yeah.
planet,
Or
stuff like
this
that.
many
So
points per minute or per possession
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. I see
uh-huh.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's how I
Uh,
feel about it.
Ended on some like fun questions. Who is your favorite player in the league, or some players that you look up to or model your game after?
Um, I can't lie. I wasn't really a fan of nobody in the league. Like I just like to watch everybody play. But
Yeah.
recently I really fell in love with like KD's game
Yeah.
because I realized like the way like he picks his spots, like getting to that mid-range bag, being able to score off the ball was not like it's really an art to see. And it's like I really just became a fan and just like trying to understand him in every type of way, even like the way like he conducts himself, the way like the way he presents himself when he's trying to come to games or like what he does during his workouts was not like I really became like a fan of just watching him do that.
Yeah.
That's really a guy that like I admire.
You think he's changed his game changed the game like with his height and the ability to play point and the way that he can kind of do certain things that 6'11" call it, you know what I mean? Do you think that's like kind of changed the game forever? Like with his, I feel
Um,
for me, he's kind of like, it feels like he's like a Dirk Nowitzki with like
uh-huh.
ball handling on top of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, I do get it, but it's like I like even the way he plays, it's like you can't really compare him to anyone.
yeah,
Whereas like okay, like this guy could like there's a lot of people that obviously a lot of kids that come in, if they see them 6'11" was not to be like he's the next KD. But I
yeah,
feel like the way KD does his stuff is really something uncanny that
yeah,
you can't really teach that. So obviously it's like for me it's like I kind of just like the way he understands the game.
yeah,
Because obviously like a lot of people that I see in the league is like they do like understand the game, but like they kind of just go based on what they know, like the strengths was not. But KD kind of takes everything. He takes everything that every information that he has, and then he tries to figure it out like what can he do next to become a better player or not. So I kind
yeah,
of like I kind of like the way he goes throughout the stuff.
yeah, yeah, man. That's why he's one of the greats, and I appreciate you joining us. All you guys in the OUA. It's great to watch you guys and just the development of the league and like some of the highlights and stuff and the content that you guys are giving us. It's been great. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything, though. It means a
For
lot.
sure. If you could stay on for a couple more moments, for those who made it to the end, if you could comment and like the channel, subscribe, whatever the case, and if you could go follow Prince on Instagram, I'm gonna post his. I'll post it in the description below. All right. Thanks. Peace.